Hello, good morning. If you're in a central or further west time zone.
Yes, welcome to Lunch with Librarians. We're glad you're here with us today. So we wanted to pop in really quick. These videos won't be very long, but we did want to just share some helpful tips and tricks and things that Carrie and I have been trying out or doing lately as part of our summer. And yeah, hoping you can share your own tips and tricks and maybe gain something from this too. And so, you want to introduce our topic today, Carrie?
Sure. We thought that it would be a good time to talk about relaxation and recovering from stress, both for you and for your family. You might be home with your own children who have been through our challenging year in education. So, we wanted to talk about both how you can recover from the school year and how your family can as well.
Yes. So, yeah, focusing on relaxing and stress relief. First of all, if you are live with us live here, if you have been able to relax yet, maybe you haven't yet had that moment to sort of take a deep breath and go, okay, my school year's done. But if you have had a chance to relax in some way, yeah, give us a thumbs up on the video. And feel free to share anything that you've been trying lately as part of your summer, as part of trying to relax and refresh for yourself, or your favorite way to relax. So we're going to share a couple things that we've been trying or that we've sort of incorporated into our own routines. Some of the things I'll be sharing at least will be from the school year, in fact. That's just, yeah, ways to cope. So obviously some of these things will be things you've heard before. And Carrie and I should be super clear here. We are not doctors, obviously. We are
Definitely.
mental health professionals, obviously. Okay. We're librarians like you. So this is not medical advice. We're just here trying to share some helpful things.
Exactly. And these are things that we have personally tried and found to be really useful for us in keeping some balance between the demands of a challenging job and relaxation and uh, being able to be focused.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Carrie, but I find self-care or any form of taking care of myself really difficult because I always feel like there's something pulling me in some direction, whether it's my family that needs me and I need to meet their needs, or school or whatever. So summer, it's nice to be able to take the work needs off of my plate. And
Yes,
yeah,
I
try to
agree.
it's hard for me to make that a priority, but I've really been trying this year, especially to say like we have to do this. Like we just have to. We're
Right.
not robots. We have to take care of ourselves because we're human. So one of the things I did during the school year, and I'm trying to keep it going during the summer here, is walking either in my school or now in summertime walking outside. I'm fortunate to live in an area, I'm in the Northeast, where the weather is nice a lot of the time, maybe not always in winter. But during the school year, I took time out of my planning time. Actually, I gave up some planning time and I walked for 15 minutes just throughout the halls, mask on and everything. And I found over time that really did help relieve some stress and help get some of my anxiousness out, just some of that exercise, even if it was just 10 or 15 minutes. But now that, yeah, it's summer, I've been enjoying walking around my neighborhood and just getting some fresh air. And in case folks aren't familiar with me from previously, I actually have a young daughter who is not in school yet. So sometimes she comes along with, even she either walks with me or rides her bike, or I put her in the stroller and off we go. So that's been one way that I've really tried to de-stress a bit.
All right. And one way that I was going to talk about is the Apple Watch that I
Mhm.
was using throughout the school year and during the summer as well. If you have an Apple Watch, you may be familiar with the Breathe app. I actually read an article about the importance of breathing, and I know that seems kind of self-explanatory. Of course, we need to breathe to stay alive, but many of us don't breathe correctly. And it actually makes you healthier. It helps you live longer if you breathe correctly. And you can set up this app on your Apple Watch, and it has, as you can see on the screen, this kind of abstract flower icon, and it directs you. You inhale for the amount of time it takes the flower to expand, and then you exhale as the flower contracts. There's some images of it in this article. You just press the start button to start, and it gives you the directions on the screen. And then you can track the health app on your phone and see all the details about your breathing. But I felt like this past year, when we were wearing, at least I was wearing a mask for at least 8 hours a day, I felt like my breathing did suffer. And so I'm trying to spend some time this summer to take these deep breathing breaks to remind myself that I do need to take deep breaths for physical and for mental health. So if you do have an Apple Watch, you can use this Breathe app, and you just set it up, and then of course it reminds you, so you don't have to think about it at all. It'll your watch will vibrate on your wrist and tell you, hey, it's time to practice, and it all runs on autopilot. I like that.
And I should note, I actually have a different brand. I have a Garmin fitness band, and it also has something similar in it. So these are 3 of the Garmin watch things, but mine is just not a smart watch. It's just a plain old boring fitness band. And it's called, I think, the stress level widget. So if you do have another brand of fitness band, it's worth looking into if there's a stress level thing. And it does a similar thing. Mine actually will prompt me when my heart rate gets a little too high, it thinks, and it will say, hey, do you want to take a break? Or take just a minute to breathe. And it has like the bubbles fill up, and you take a breath and hold it, and the bubbles fill down. And then so it prompts you when to breathe out and breathe in, and kind of slow down your breathing. So yeah, you can also Google box breathing, which is the technique they use for that. And so yeah, that I've found that also really helpful. And correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, it doesn't necessarily have to prompt you. Can you bring up the Breathe app on your Apple Watch or on your Apple device if you just choose to take a break? It doesn't have to be.
You can, yes.
Yeah, I thought so too. Same with the Garmin's too, is that there's a way to just activate that. If you just say, you know what, I'm feeling kind of stressed. Let me take a moment here.
Definitely. But I feel like I'm the kind of person that, like, I get involved in working on something, and I don't take time to take those deep breaths that my body needs. So I prefer the reminders, because I won't necessarily realize, hey, you need to stop and take a breath.
Yeah, I agree with you. When my wristband buzzes, it usually is a surprise to me that,
right.
I don't realize I'm feeling so stressed, but my body knows.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's good to listen to that and not just skip over it and dismiss that notification. So another one, I found a lot of help in meditation this year. It is certainly a practice. My brain is easily distracted, and I don't think I'm alone in that. But this came up actually in my Netflix queue just last week. So if you're not familiar with Headspace, they're a company that's focused on, meditation and relaxing and brain science and studying the brain science behind it. But so they partnered with Netflix, and they made an interactive sort of Netflix video that you can kind of choose your own adventure kind of thing. So it's called Unwind Your Mind. And Headspace has a couple other Netflix specials if you subscribe to it just has different brain science things about how your brain works, how sleep works. So that's like an interesting thing from a science perspective. But I thought this was really interesting as kind of a different way to experience meditation. So if you're thinking of the classic, well, sitting still, cross-legged, with your eyes closed and trying to get your mind to stop running, that doesn't necessarily have to be what it looks like. And so yeah, that might be something to give a shot. What I use personally, though, and this is something, it's not free, but it's something I've subscribed to for physical workouts and also for audio, is called Daily Burn. And there's so many other streaming services for exercise videos, so it's certainly not the only one. But this one happens to also have audio workouts. So, and they have some meditation ones, and they're anywhere from like 5 minutes up to like 20 or so minutes. And it's just like a guided, just a calm voice in your earbuds saying, hey, let's take some moments here and just kind of focus on one aspect. Maybe you're focusing on like whether your body is tense or your muscles are tense, or maybe you're just focusing on your breathing. And it's kind of an easy way to try out meditation. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of them, and I've been a subscriber for years. And so, but Carrie, I think we also want to talk about, what if you have children?
We did, because we realized you might not be able to get away by yourself, or you might want to, you may think that your children in your home also need to de-stress from this past year. So one service that is free for educators is GoNoodle. And I use this during the school year, both for active brain breaks when I see that students need to wiggle and get up and move, or when they need to calm down. And let me share. There we go. Let me start this video called Bring It Down. I won't do the whole thing, but we'll start a little bit of it together.
This exercise will teach you how to gain control of your stressful energy when it gets too high to handle. Close your eyes, listen, and follow along. Or keep your eyes open and follow along that way. It's up to you. Sit tall. You can be on the ground with your legs crossed, or in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Now imagine that you can look up and see the sky. And up in the sky, way up in the sky, is a balloon. If you'd like, you can choose a color for your balloon. Keep the picture of the balloon in your mind. The balloon.
Okay, I will stop that video there. You can see I've got the heart. I've saved that to my favorites. Hi, Jennifer. I see Jennifer loves to noodle too. It is so useful in the school library. I love it so much. So I was amazed. I used this with a kindergarten class close to the end of the school year, where they were just so lively and so excited and pretty much out of control. But they followed the directions. They completely calmed down and were able to get focused. So these definitely work. This one, Bring It Down, is one of my favorites. But, oh, good, I got some more points. I wanted to show you in the categories. That's where you can look for, enhancing focus, managing stress, the movement. If you want to practice breathing, you can see a lot of these are very active, and they're good if students have been sitting still for a while and you want them to move. They're also, the SEL and mindfulness are also really good for when you need students to just breathe and focus and calm down. So again, free for educators. Just set up an educator account on GoNoodle.com. And I think you'll really enjoy using that with your family and with your students in the library.
And Carrie, you were telling me earlier that sometimes GoNoodle might be paid for. Like you might get a pro account through either maybe an intermediate unit. That's something we have in Pennsylvania I use, or a county system, or maybe there's a bulk subscription that you can use to access it or access some of the pro features.
Yes, exactly. We in San Antonio, you can see the plus. We have extra features that are sponsored by our local children's hospital because they want to promote children's health. So you might have something like that in your area too, but you will definitely have some features for free from GoNoodle as an educator.
Awesome. And so, well, I wanted to share another one. And in fact, we have someone in the group here, Dolores, thanks for sharing, about Cosmic Kids. And that's one that I've also used personally, actually, first with my daughter. Just if you have a smart TV, you can actually just search directly on there through YouTube. But it also works just on regular YouTube or YouTube Kids. And there's an app now that has no ads. So it's paid, but if you're worried about what ads pop up on YouTube, then you can give that a shot. But what I found really useful about Cosmic Yoga or Cosmic Kids Yoga is that you can search by stories or famous movies, kids movies. So my daughter is absolutely a huge Frozen fan. So it's super easy. We just say, okay, we search for Frozen Yoga. And Jamie from Cosmic Kids Yoga is the very first result that comes up. So it walks you through the story. There are spoilers, so you should know that if your kids love a movie, they should have seen the movie already or the show already in order to watch the Cosmic Kids Yoga episode because she will spoil the ending. She tells the whole story, paraphrasing it, and doing poses along with it. So for instance, in Frozen, there's a marshmallow pose. That one's a favorite of ours, where you get your body like really, really big and you do some stomping. And so it's really great for young kids and older kids too. Helps them to get more flexible. And then she also has mindfulness and things that are more meditation focused on getting better at focusing, on getting your body and your mind to be strong, which is pretty great. There's kind of both of those together. And so, yeah, I'm so glad to see other folks that know about that. So I think
so have you used that in the
ahead.
library, Colette? Have you used Cosmic Kids Yoga in the library or just at home?
I mean, mostly at home right now.
Okay.
So I definitely want to use more movement things. I did try some yoga with the I Am Yoga book by Peter Reynolds and Susan Verde, because of course. And you say mindfulness and those are the books that come to mind, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I've used those before, and I tried those with a first grade classroom and a second grade classroom this year. So you should always check. I found out later that I was having them like they could sit on their desks. I said, because why not? I found out later they really shouldn't have been doing that. So
okay.
they didn't let me know desks are not made to hold student weight. So things to check on. But yeah, I did do some stuff with that and just had us try the different poses in the book. But yeah, I think for Cosmic Yoga, as long as I previewed things, and I would probably also check for ads or run it through one of the many ways that you can pull ads out of YouTube, whether Safe Share TV and all those.
Okay.
Definitely check for those. But yeah, I think it is a useful tool, and it's kind of great as a great brain break for students. But yeah, for me personally, I just use this personally right now.
Okay.
And so yoga is something that me and my daughter like to do together.
That's great.
And so I think that's all of the things I have to share. Is there any other strategies or tips you wanted to share, Carrie?
I think that's all. Of course, we haven't talked about probably the librarian's favorite way to de-stress, which I think we'll be talking about that a little more tomorrow, right?
Right.
Which is reading fun books. So we'll be back tomorrow at noon, noon Eastern, 11 Central,
Yes.
to talk about books to read for fun during the summer.
To share some of our favorites.
Yes,
right,
and we hope you will share yours too.
Yes, and yeah, once more, an invitation if you have other ideas or other useful websites or useful apps that you found helpful, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll add the resources we shared today, we'll add those in the comments as soon as we hop off here. And so, yeah, thank you for joining us. And so, yeah, great to see everybody here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for your comments. We love connecting with you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.